Home Depot is a pretty decent hardware store. It's usually our go-to for, well, getting stuff around the house. But have you ever considered going there for reenactment gear? Well, that's kind of what I did. This is a cheap Pickelhaube from, I think, Soldier of Fortune that I got years and years ago, back in 2018. It's a cheap one, cost me about $90, but it's not terrible. It has a passing amount of accuracy in terms of just the way it looks when you're wearing it. The leather's too thick, it's the wrong kind. There's a few other deficiencies that I could probably go off and, rant about if I decided to take the time to write a proper script. That's not what this video is about. This video is about a Pickelhaube bought from Home Depot. Now, before I go into the unboxing of it and going over all the problems with it, I want to make a couple predictions. For starters, I don't actually know anything about this Pickelhaube. I don't know what the quality is going to be like, the material. The descriptions are all very vague. What I do know is that this is made by a company called Lotte Lane. If I pronounce that wrong, I've got the name up on the screen. I tried to figure out what they were about, where they're located from, and tried to reach out and ask, why are you guys selling Pickelhaubes? But they don't just sell Pickelhaubes. They sell other furniture and various home decor, like lamps, wall art, and chandeliers. And the furniture including things like, your typical cabinets to beds. Their Facebook page is very bland. It was only created a couple years ago. They don't have any contact information, and their website just goes straight back to Home Depot. I can't figure out where these things originate from, although some sources say that they're an Irish company, although that might be a hostel. As a lot of companies called Lotte Lane are based in Ireland, I wouldn't be surprised. However, this shipped in from Chino, California, so I have reason to believe that they're more based out of China, and they have a warehouse in California to ship things out of. Now, for what I could find, Home Depot doesn't stock the helmets in their stores. And I say helmets because they don't just sell Pickelhaubes. There's a whole array of helmets that they sell, from Spartan helmets to more medieval-looking helmets, and of course the Pickelhaube, all in varying degrees of looks and potential accuracy issues. This one is the Pickelhaube. It's an interesting combination of your typical leather-looking Pickelhaube with the backside that would be more standard for German cavalry, but usually those helmets were metal. I understand that there were exceptions, but typically that would have been a full metal design. There are several issues where they separate the different actual pieces of the Pickelhaube with simple creases, just from the pictures I can see, so it's already not off to a good start. And I'm sure many of you who know more about Pickelhaubes than I do can already see a lot more issues than I can. But I couldn't pass it up. It's only about $45. Shipping was free, and it took about a week to get here. A good deal, regardless of its accuracy, and it allows me to make a pretty funny video about buying reenactment gear from Home Depot. So without further ado, let's unbox this helmet. Now, I should have come here with a knife already, but I don't have one because I'm underprepared. So let me just find something to use in my cabinet of curiosities here. I don't have my bayonet readily available. Otherwise, I'd use that. Have you ever seen someone open up a box with a picture before? Glass plate photography does have multiple uses. And obviously the camera angle is terrible. So. Now these helmets do come with a stand, so hopefully it's not nailed to the stand or permanently affixed to it, but I doubt it because it's not that big. Unless it's a tiny little helmet. I legitimately don't know much about this at all. Alright. The thing I'm looking for is where exactly this originated from. So this was made in India. Not a surprise. It's one piece. It's just called helmet. Alright. Probably a lot easier. Little glass plate. Alright. Yeah, this definitely has a smell to it. Okay, so it's not all in one piece. It actually comes together in a little pole. Yes, I'm stalling. I can see the helmet in there. That's all. The little hole there. You've got your stand. This is awful. It's got like marks on it. This is terribly painted, very low quality. Like you'd have to repaint this. And like look how this gets screwed on. This thing just wobbles around. That's terrible. That is just awful quality. Yeah, it's because the screw in the stand itself is put in wrong. Let me try with the other end. Maybe it'll fit better. The other end does fit better, but it's still off center. I don't know if that comes across in the camera. You got this, which is apparently to hold the helmet. So luckily, the helmet is just a helmet, and I'm guessing that this actually comes from an Indian reenactment manufacturer. So it's probably legitimate reenacting gear. And of course, the moment we've all been waiting for, the helmet bought at Home Depot. All right, this feels cheap. Yeah, so it's legitimately something you could wear. That's funny. It's metal. Here, listen to that. It's a cheap metal, but it is metal. I'll get some better pictures of it and everything. So it's not leather. It's an actual metal helmet. Let's see. It does have a working clasp there. This is stupid. I don't even know how this looks. Yeah, that's stupid as all hell. Oh, that's goofy. Alright, let's put this on. I really hope no one else has actually bought one of these, and I'm like the first person. Oh, that's goofy. This is awful. This is here for a full 360 view as it wobbles around on the cheap ass stand. Just so you guys can get a full view as to how awful this thing is. Now, it's not terrible. For $50, I mean less than $50 in free shipping, this definitely isn't terrible. This could easily be used like if you're making a budget film, or if you just want to put a quick costume together. This isn't terrible for that. It's a really good costume piece. Especially with the working thing. Now, I don't know how it looks on me, so I could be talking out my ass, and you guys are going, no, don't use that for a costume. Obviously, once again, made in India. Probably just the barcode for the company. Can't find anything about the company itself, so I don't actually know. Yeah, this is... I don't even think this is made to be functional properly. Yeah, this is cheaply put together. It's all stamped metal, and they use very cheap dyes to do it. You can tell by how bubbly and cartoonish some of the words look, and how improperly some things are cut out. If I still had my original Pickelhaube, I could show you it. But this stamped metal, even though it's still cheap, you can see the difference in terms of the quality. The stamped metal on my cheap $90 Indian repo helmet has better cutouts and has a better coloring to it, whereas this is... And the stuff is a lot more defined and doesn't look as cartoonish. Whereas this one doesn't have things cut out properly. The words are a lot more bubbly, like they've been stung by a bunch of bees. And the metal feels cheaper. Obviously you have this stuff, which is just terrible. And yeah, the little cockades, just awful. I will say it's not a terribly uncomfortable helmet to wear. The liner is not bad, but it's not great either. And the stand is made so cheaply. Like, it rocks so bad. When you have a stand for a helmet, you want it to be stable. You want it to be steady. But that answers a couple questions. One, where this thing comes from. India. That makes a lot of sense. That was one of my guesses originally. Obviously, China was the main one that I said at the beginning of this video, because that's another source for a lot of reenactment gear, especially the cheap stuff that you see. They do sell other like helmets and whatnot. So if you're looking for like a great helm or something along those lines, and you don't want to spend all the money on like a reenactment quality because you just want something that looks decent, it might be the way to go because they're not that expensive on Home Depot. And it's funny as hell getting a helmet like this from Home Depot. This is absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know what to think about it. Is it worth the money? Well, that depends on you. I haven't even taken this off yet, if it even comes off. Yeah, so you could get a little decorative feather piece for it too, or you could keep the spike. I know that they made some in this color, and I'm glad it's not leather, but I don't know, the reflective stuff will always look better in my opinion, and I'm confused as to why they didn't. So it's not leather, it is metal, and it looks like this back portion is different pieces that have been riveted together, with the rivets being covered by the knobs there. So that's not terrible. It just looks really cheap. Because it is. It's very cheaply made. And I wish I had an original to compare it to right now in front of me. But the paint's super cheap and is chipping. The handiwork is not very good. You can see some of the marks that were put into the metal when they were making it. There's a lot of scratches and blemishes on the metal itself. And there are fingerprints that are not my own on the metal. So, very cheaply made. Not very, not cleaned up at all before it got shipped out. But I'd say if you know what you're getting when you buy this, I'd say $45 is not a bad price. It's a $45 helmet. And it's full metal, except for like, that might even be a cheap, yeah. It's not terrible. It's not like, oh, this is so awful. I wouldn't wear this with an impression. It's, again, a good costume piece. That's about it. I wouldn't wear this at Newville. You'd get skewered. And I wouldn't post a picture of yourself wearing this unless it was as a joke, because then you just end up on FarbFest and everyone would rip you a new asshole. But it's funny. It's really funny. This is ridiculous. I mean, there's pieces of the metal here that is bent all out of whack. Cart caved in on itself. Inconsistencies, and then the stand is awful. The paint job's terrible on everything. But hey, it is a pretty interesting helmet. I'd say if you knew what you were doing, you could add new hardware, you could make this look a lot better. You could buy this for the shell and then modify it to make it look better. Is that worth it? No. No, you'd have to be crazy. But you could do it. It's not impossible. So, yeah, the Home Depot Pickelhaube. Maybe if you guys all spam Home Depot with requests to stock it in their stores, this could actually end up on the shelves. That'd be really funny. That'd be really funny. I think that'd be hilarious. This actually is going to be the start of a series of videos I was thinking about making where I buy ridiculous reenactment gear and just kind of review it and look at it and be like, wow, this is stupid. Reenactment gear that no one in their right mind would actually buy, but everyone kind of jokes about, just to kind of see just how terrible it is. This is obviously awful. And I recommend that if you want to get a cheap Pickelhaube that you can just destroy, here you go. It's terrible. But I want to start that new series. If you want to support it, you can become a channel member. That's like a couple bucks every month, and I'm going to be releasing channel member exclusive videos and a bunch of other stuff to go along with it, early access to videos and everything like that. Obviously, this isn't going to interfere with the aviation history videos, and this is just becoming a tangent. So, if you like this video, leave a comment about your thoughts on the helmet. Am I wrong in saying that this is just terrible, although it is technically worth the $45 in free shipping? What's your opinion on it? Because personally, I can't tell. I can't tell. And yeah, leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. I make random content whenever I feel like it. Lots of history content whenever I feel like it, whenever I can. And for those of you who have only really been paying attention since I started uploading aviation content, this is stuff I used to make all the time.